Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and don't forget to listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and please like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. So, while growing up, I found myself having a horde of entitled parents, step and otherwise. My mom was great most times, but still felt entitled to my stuff as I was her kid. On to the story. When I was a kid, after my twin brother got diagnosed with cancer, I became obsessed with saving money for my future. I figured if only one of us got to have one, I'd have to make it awesome enough for the both of us. He's in remission for 10 years next month, but at the time, I didn't know he'd live. This meant every holiday I found myself saving all the money I got because I was going to Harvard. I was going to have an awesome career and zero student debt. I'd also mow lawns, weed gardens, as well as tutor and babysit kids when I got old enough. At the point this story happened, I had a happy $10K saved up. Not enough for all of my college, but only $3,000 less than my total loans for college. I was also not allowed a bank account because of my age, and no one wanted one with me. This meant I had roughly $10,000 and $100 bills. I'd trade smaller bills with my mom in my closet in a shoebox. My mom had my sister when I was 14, and she was born very early, 27 weeks, and spent most of her first year in and out of hospitals. So my mom has dedicated her life to making my sister's life the best it can be. One day, shortly after my sister was born, my mom asked if she could borrow some money, as they would be short on rent that month, due to my mom and stepdad being at the hospital so much and having their savings depleted. I made her promise to pay me back and handed her $500 from the box and told her to put it back in said box when she was to pay me back. I checked 2 months later and she had paid me back. Cool. Then my sister's birthday rolled around. It was an amazing feat that she made it to 1 year. My mom was ready to have a huge party. She rented out an entire aquarium because my little sister loved Ariel. She got my sister a custom-made dress that looked like Ariel's pink one from the movie. Huge cake from the best local bakery, tower of presents, the whole 9 yards. Near the end of the party, she announced that she had taken notes from my thrifty saving and had started my sister a high-interest savings account with $1,000 at the moment, so when she turned 18, she'd be set. She also informed family members that any money she received as a gift today would go there. We weren't wealthy by any means, so I figured that my stepdad's parents, wealthy old money, had paid for all of this. I was 15 at the time this happened, and with a permit from school, I was able to get a part-time job. I went to put my first check in my shoebox and had noticed it only had one envelope in it versus the 10 I had. I opened it up expecting to count $1,000, but it was only $374, showing whoever took it had the foresight to put back what they didn't use. I had an absolute panic attack, fell to the ground screaming, hyperventilating, crying, unable to speak, panic. That's when my brother came in. He wasn't sure what to do, so he got my mom. She got down on my level and soothed me to where I was able to communicate anything. She asked what happened, and here's the exchange roughly. Mom: Now, what happened? Everyone is all right. Are you okay? Me: Robbed. We got robbed. Mom: What do you mean, honey? I started crying again and said, I only have $300. I noticed my mom become slightly less comforting, and her tone became slightly nervous. Mom: $300? Did you take it? She was referring to my brother. My brother: No, why would I steal from OP? I didn't even know she had money. Mom: Well, OP, I'm sure you lost it. No 15-year-old needs $10,000 anyways. We'll get you a bank account. That way this won't happen again. Me: I didn't lose it. Mom: Well, you must have thrown it away then or something. That's when it suddenly clicked, how my sister had such an awesome party. Me: Mom, please tell me that you didn't take it for sister's birthday. My mom got defensive and started talking like, and this is the best way to describe it, a guilty Danganronpa character during the rhythm minigame. Mom: I would never. What would I even use it for? Your sister has had a hard life. You would be lucky if that's where your money went. You even got the money from us. Only part of it, but whatever. I remember distinctly putting $500 in your stupid box. My brother: Oh my God, Mom's a thief. Mom: I'm not the thief. I've given everything so you kids can have the best lives. I was at the hospital every night with you. I shaved your head when your hair started falling out. This continued and would be a lot of typing, but you get the gist. Me. Mom, you gave me that money because you guys didn't have rent. Brother. That's messed up. Mom. Brother out. This is between OP and I, woman to woman. She pushed my brother out and locked the door behind him. Mom. Sweetie, one day when you become a mom, you'll understand that you'll do anything for your kids. When God gives you 2 sick kids who get better, you want to celebrate them. Don't you want your sister to have a good time? Doesn't she deserve to go to college one day? You're so smart and strong, you don't need help like the other 2. You'll probably get a full ride anyway. I was in tears and too shaken up to talk. I just sobbed in the fetal position. She continued to talk at me for a while, but I don't remember much, other than waking up there for school the next day with my comforter on me and brother sleeping in my bed with his blanket, pillow. I never got any money back, but after buying a small safe with that paycheck instead, saved up more and worked 2 jobs when I was 16 so I could have money. I ended up with about $5,000 after having to pay for my own car and insurance to get to and from work and a few other things. She threw that party for herself, and a 1-year-old isn't going to remember it. And I have no doubts that one day she's going to come to OP wanting help, wanting to get money from OP, or live with OP, or have OP take care of her. OP should remind her then of this. Then she should tell her politely, no, let my sister, who you stole thousands of dollars from me to give her 1-year-old self a party, take care of you. I shed a small tear hearing this story. I'm sorry this happened to you. While it is true that you would do anything for your kids, you don't take from one something so valuable just to make the other feel more special. I freaked out when my mother took €100 without my consent, losing $10,000. I would never speak to her again. Just move out as soon as possible. I hope you will get your money back somehow. And how's the relationship to your sister? Is she an a-hole about it, or does she even know? OP says, my sister is spoiled rotten, and I can't stand her for reasons unrelated to this. She's tried to smack my baby out of her hand so she can hold the baby. I've been married for 15 years with my wife, and our son is 18 years old. I think I was a good father to him, always present, always supporting him. I was the first he talked to when he had a problem being picked on, a math problem, when he needed romantic advice. He straight up likes cross-dressing and doing makeup, and I was always the first one to support him on that too, while his mom was trying to make him more masculine. However, recently I discovered that he's not actually my child. My mother-in-law said she had something to tell me, something important. So I went to meet her, and she told me that my child is actually my wife's high school boyfriend's baby. She gave birth at 20, but apparently she was cheating on me with her old boyfriend. My mother-in-law said that my wife told her the truth after he was born because she had suspected that the baby didn't exactly look like me, and mother-in-law confronted her about it. But the baby was already born and nothing could be done. I was mad and asked her why is she telling me this right now. She told me it's because she saw my son hanging out with his bio dad at a park and believes that he is back in their lives. I decided not to shoot the messenger and went out to confront my wife and son about this. After a long argument, they told the truth. The bio dad was back and wanted to meet his real son. A lot of stuff happened, and I'm divorcing and also cutting my wife's son out of my will, because I never had a real son, and all this time I was putting all my energy and effort into raising another man's child. I'm also consulting if it's possible to sue the bio dad for all the money I've spent raising his bio son throughout the years. My wife is obviously mad at me, but my stepson is just devastated. I can see him depressed and not talking to me and constantly apologizing. My plan was to divorce and cut contact with him right after. But now I'm wondering if I'm going too far by punishing him too. Edit. Everybody is asking this. The kid knew about his bio dad for about 4 months before I discovered it. And yes, we did a DNA test. He insisted a lot of it, and after it came back negative is when I think his depression really hit. Y'all are right. Maybe it is useless to sue the bio dad, but I'll ask a lawyer anyway. Edit 2. Many people are comparing my situation to being a stepdad or an adoption. There is a difference. I thought for over 18 years that he was my real son. I 100% believe that adoptive parents are real parents, and their adopted children are their real children. But they willingly went into the adoption process. They know their family is not blood family. I was tricked into my situation. If I had known my wife after the baby was born, I wouldn't have cared because I knew it was somebody else's son. But I thought this was my real son, and just now I find out that he isn't. Anyway, I need to talk to him when he feels like it. pretty convenient for bio dad to come into the picture when his financial duties would be over. That poor kid. He is not at fault for this situation, but he is sure being punished for it. How do you think he feels finding out that the man he has known as his dad his entire life isn't, and now is tossing him aside? You and the child are both innocent and both victims. An 18-year-long deception takes time for you both to process and contemplate. Divorcing your wife for deceiving you for so long does not take much time to assess. But you and your son are still exactly that, dad and son, until you decide otherwise. Neither of you should rush to a decision about undoing that. Don't hold it against your son that he is engaged with bio dad, as clearly this is another manipulation by the mother. Your son may technically be an adult at 18, but no 18-year-old is equipped to navigate this scenario, especially without the love and guidance of the dad he has known for 18 years. Please consider investing 1 year on making any permanent, life-changing decisions about the two of you. This issue started a while ago. My son married Becky. Becky and my daughter do not get along. Looking in on it, personalities don't mix well. They frustrate each other a lot. About a year ago, the family was having a barbecue, and Becky was asked to bring paper plates so no one had to clean plates. She brought plastic plates, so my daughter would need to wash them in order to give them back to Becky by the end of the night. The barbecue was at her home. I think it was a breaking point for her, because she grabbed me and went inside. She had a big rant where she was not pleasant about Becky. It was mostly about her not following instructions, and in her eyes, she was incompetent. I told her to calm down and just enjoy the night. I will do the dishes. A few days later, I got a call from my son saying he will only communicate with me if Becky is there. So group chats if she is on the phone with him or in person. That he heard that we were talking crap about his wife, and this is what he is doing now. Same thing with my daughter. He didn't let me explain. So from then on, we've been communicating that way. It has been frustrating at times, and I don't feel like I can talk to him about anything personally. This brings me to the main issue. I have breast cancer. I informed the kids one by one about it. I'm not comfortable to explain my diagnosis with his wife in the room. We're not close, and I'm very emotional about it. So I texted him that we needed to talk alone, and he told me that anything I say, I can say in front of his wife. I called him, but no answer, and me saying it was very important didn't do anything. My option was to tell him with an audience, or not tell him, and let him learn from someone else. I chose not to tell him. I had my first appointment, and my daughter made a post on Instagram wishing me luck and support. He called me up pissed that he found out about this on social media, and called me a jerk for not telling him. My point was I did try, and he wouldn't listen to me. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry about your diagnosis, OP, and I wish you the best of luck for your treatment. The truth is, you asked your son for a private conversation, and he said no. He does not then get to berate you for not telling him. This is the consequences of his own short-sighted actions, and frankly, you don't need the drama right now. Something else he might consider before yelling at you about his own perceived slights. You did ask him, and he said no. Not the a-hole. Becky sounds like an instigating a-hole, and your son is an enabler for not even hearing you out. He established a no-contact type policy because he doesn't like his self-centered wife being called out. You tried to tell him, and he refused to meet up with you. Now he is upset he found out this way, when if he had met up with you and didn't put his a-hole wife on an unearned pedestal, he would have been told face to face. Not the a-hole. He's making his choices. Your medical info is private, and if he doesn't want to give you the opportunity, that's 100% on him. My sister is the same way with her husband. So be it. Was Becky on the phone when he called you pissed off? Because there's an awful lot of irony there if not.